front, true believers. This is Modular Media's No Prize Podcast, a podcast of comics, movies, merchandise, and more. I am your host, Boingo Rider, and with me, as always, in the bullpen,
representing the highly evolved competition, the Vacuuminator is here.
Certified
Hubert. Sorry, were you... Live, everybody.
Certified Hubert figure.
Yeah, I got Space Hitler number 2063 from Ollie's for $12 this week, and he's not a bad figure.
Nice.
Kind of wish he had some kind of power effects, but articulation's decent.
When are we gonna get the cow that raised Wanda and Pietro?
Oh man. That's the real question. That's what we need to be banging down Hasbro stores.
When are we gonna get a Bovis figure?
That needs to be a freaking HasLab Giant Man stretch goal right there.
No, hold on. Remember the fucking Minotaur figure from the Doctor Strange series?
Rintra.
Redo parts reused from Rintra, turn it into Bovis.
I like it. Let's print that shit. Come on, Dame Yoon, get on it.
Come on, Marvel Legends team. You know what the people want. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Well, we got a big episode today.
Yeah, we get to see how they adapted wife beating everybody.
Hint, you don't. We're talking about the Yellowjacket episode of Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Which is, it takes things from Hank Pym's history, and it's got like the general idea of the Yellowjacket comic persona, but it is very unlike the Yellowjacket debut in the comics.
No. Honestly,
have you read that, by the way?
No, I haven't.
That story is knuckin' futz, because Hank goes missing, and Janet is on, like, this mad quest to find him, and then Yellowjacket shows up, and he's just being this ridiculous chauvinistic asshole. And then it's revealed that it is Hank, and he remembers that he is Hank, because he had amnesia and, like, multiple personality disorder at the same time. And then they go, oh shit, that's right, we love each other. Let's get married now. And that's their fucking wedding issue too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like this a lot better than that.
Yeah.
Because it's just very simple. It's just like, alright, the world wants me to get tough, I'll get tough.
They don't like me when I'm the nice guy. Fine, say goodbye to Mr. Nice Guy. Like, that's essentially what it is. It's just Hank Pym running around in a new costume with a deep voice.
Yeah. It's what if Hank saw the Punisher and went, that's an idea.
I could do that. I can make that bug themed.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what's going on. Everybody thinks he's murdering all the criminals, but instead he's just putting them in a new micro prison.
Yeah. Which I mean,
micro fucking Guantanamo Bay, I guess.
Yeah, because he is doing it judge, jury, executioner.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I like how it's not like fixed at the end. It's not rehabilitated. It's very similar in the comics where they're like, I guess you can join. This is a little fucked up, but I mean, I guess
it's better that it's better that you're with us out there.
Yeah, that's essentially the argument that Janet makes. She's like, no, he'll be good, I can fix him. That's their entire fucking dynamic in this show. Like, it's kind of that in the comics sometimes, but this is really capitalizing on the, no, I can fix him ism that is their relationship.
But there is a nice moment where Iron Man just goes like, yeah, we wanted you to be a thing you weren't, and now we just want you to be what you were. And he's just going like, I have been through way too much character development to just be that again.
Yeah, we're not... Tony, we can't fix this. I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm wearing yellow. It's not even my color.
I gave the Ant-Man costume away. I don't even have that anymore.
Who has it? Oh, this guy called Scott Lang. You mean the electrical engineer who was caught cat burgling millions of dollars?
Yeah, that guy. He seemed nice.
Who else knows about this? Oh, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. What?
Who the fuck is that?
Why do I feel like he's infringing on my intellectual property? Iron Man, Iron Fist.
Yeah. Surprised that book hasn't happened yet. That should be a thing. That should be a fun little team up mini somebody should do.
It's called Iron Fists of Man.
That just sounds like a bad 80s album.
Iron Fist that man.
Fist that man. Fist that man. Fist that man.
But yeah, no, this episode's fun.
It's really solid.
It's a really good, I wouldn't say distillation, but it is a very good version of, oh, Hank gone crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I like especially the way it opens with just showing Hank fully unhinged in his lab and everybody being like, maybe you should take a chill pill, and he's like, maybe you should take a chill pill. Like, it is proper goofy comic book mad scientist dramatic shit, and I'm here for it.
It's interesting. It's a good suit. They do a good job of doing the Yellowjacket suit.
Yeah, it's pretty much one for one from the comics. There's like a slight bit of simplifying of it, but looks about like it does.
The shoulder things are a little shorter.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in a comic, you can kind of just explain it away, but, like, in a visual, in a motion medium, the guy needs to be able to look side to side.
Oh, yeah.
It's part of the reason why Batman had such a drastic suit change in the second Nolan movie.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, good episode.
Yeah, EMH is like it's never anything to dive super deep into. It's usually just like, hey, they did a solid job of adapting this, and it's neat to kind of look at the little bits of that there is solid voice performances. Probably the most I've paid attention to the guy who plays Hank since the episode that introduced Ultron.
But thinking about this episode though, and thinking about Hank Pym as a character, it's interesting because Hank Pym wasn't created to be a superhero. He was like just a scientist adventure serial guy, right?
Yeah.
And then he got wrapped up in the superhero thing. And I think that's the problem that Hank has always had, is that they're trying to write this adventure serial science man into a superhero, and it just doesn't work. So he just goes off the wall every so often because it's just like, what do you do with Hank Pym?
Yeah, he's not Captain America. He's 50s B-movie scientist man.
Yeah. And honestly, I think at least the Hank in this show would appreciate being left 50s science B-movie man.
Probably, yeah. I could definitely picture him in a room having just gotten attacked by some brain squids and explaining it all for 20 fucking minutes to all the other characters while casually being fucking chauvinistic towards Wasp.
But it's just like he's a character not designed for that. He's not a character designed to be a hero.
Mm-hmm. So they had to retrofit him somehow partway through the Avengers, and their solution to that was, let's make him crazy.
Yep. Yeah. Yellowjacket. It's Yellowjacket. There's a fun moment between Black Panther and Hawkeye though.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's just flipping through the TV, just going like, "You Westerners and your television."
And then he's like, "No, I'm researching. Look, it's on the news." And then it's him. And it's like, man, you really are the fucking Johnny Storm of this team.
Yeah. Should we get on to some newsy news?
We could get on to some newsy news.
News, you news, you snooze?
Yeah.
You news, you snooze.
I snooze all the news when I
Is that what
snooze.
that white dust is?
It's fucking bits of Nutter Butters.
I was making a cocaine joke.
I know, but I also saw some crumbs on my lip, and I thought you were talking about that.
No, I was just making cocaine jokes.
Well, stop making cocaine jokes and start making fat guy jokes.
No. Do you think? What do you think I am? One of the fucking writers of Family Guy?
Oh! Step McFarlane, come on the show and defend yourself.
Like he would give a shit about a show he has nothing to do with now.
That's true.
I mean, he voices the characters in it. He'd much rather be writing Star Trek right now.
Which one does he voice again?
In Family Guy?
Yeah.
Peter, Stewie, Brian.
Oh, he's all of them? Damn.
Quagmire.
I've not seen much Family Guy, by the way. I was always much more of like a Futurama South Park guy.
Yeah. Here's the thing: you got to take Family Guy not as one of those shows, but as like dumb absurdist comedy. That's what the cutaway gags are. It's like, oh, it's lazy comedy, yeah, because it's just meant to be dumb and absurd. Blech, you know.
Legit.
I'm trying to remember. There's a couple other characters he voices. The doctor that they use often. The pedophilic grandpa guy.
Now you're getting into shit I have no idea about. Like, I at least know Quagmire through cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
Kids today don't know the fucking giggity memes used to be everywhere.
Oh, they're still a little everywhere.
Mm.
But hey, guess what?
They got a deal, didn't they?
The writers got a fucking deal. The studios basically went like, all right, fuck it. We'll deal with it. We'll give you what we want.
Yeah, I think there was only one like incredibly minor demand that they didn't get.
Yeah, like they got 90, 95, 99% of what they wanted.
And it's huge stuff that like that is unprecedented. Like AI is fully kicked out of the system for at least the next year while this deal lasts.
It's more than a year if it's voted on.
Oh, I thought it was going to have to be voted on every year moving forward, is what I read.
Yeah. Hold on. Following a summary, 2023 language of the MOA, unless amended into the 2023 negotiations provisions 20. Yeah. Okay. So summary of the deal. Agreement. Term of the agreement is September 25th, 2023 to May 1st, 2026. Okay.
But like the big bullet points I've seen going around is there's going to be minimum room size, everybody's getting general pay increases, AI can't write, there's going to be disclosure of streaming numbers with residuals to match, which is not just going to be a big thing for writers, but it's going to be a big thing for people like us, people who make this
that's
content.
under NDA.
Really?
Yeah, hold on. Minimum increases, which you talked about. Increased health and pension contribution plan, which is good. Increased health and pension contributions for writer's team. The AI things. AI cannot write or rewrite any literary material. WG reserves right. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, the studios are not allowed to do anything involving AI. Only the writer, if they so choose.
Yeah, there's going to be script fees for staff writers, guarantee second step for screenwriters.
For people who don't understand what that is, basically the second draft. It's an automatic second draft, and you get paid for it.
Yeah. So like all around, real good shit. Or even such good shit as our patron saint here at Modular Media, Vincent Kennedy McMahon would say.
Yeah. Streaming data transparency. The companies agree to provide the guild, subject to confidentiality agreement. So an NDA. The total number of hours streamed, both domestically and internationally, of self-produced high-budget streaming programs. Example: Netflix original series. The guild
So
may
that's probably how they got that. Is the public still can't see those numbers,
Mhm.
but anyone in the industry, anyone in the unions can see those numbers now.
And that will probably also reflect on whether certain people, whether writer like a writer couldn't say like, oh, the numbers for the for blank is bad, but they can't say, well, I would never write for Netflix.
Mhm.
Hint, hint.
But Netflix can still say like, "Oh, this show is doing really well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
our
yeah.
most popular show of the season."
The
Oh,
guild
really?
may
What's the
share
hard number on that?
yeah.
No, no, it's just popular. Shut up.
The guild may share information with the membership in aggregated form. So it's very much within the WGA. We're not privy to it, but they can always hint, maybe.
Yeah.
Minimum terms, advertising, supported streaming, increased compensation for series employment, development room premiums, staff writing script fees, staffing durations. Basically, it's just like the number of writer things.
Mhm.
Uh, Proof options, exclusivity, and span protections. And just more appendix things, showrunner training program. Oh, that's cool. Reach an agreement to renew 250 annual funding for showrunner training programs. Just get training
All
for
right.
writing a show. That's neat. But yeah, no, it's basically everything they asked for. Good job, writers.
Yeah. So the writer's strike is now officially over.
I
They're
haven't heard.
all.
Have they voted?
I thought they voted on it last week and it got ratified.
Um, you know what? We have the Writers Guild Twitter up here, so I am as another news thing. So I'm opening up their Twitter just feed in general, and look down a little bit and see if they did say they officially.
Okay.
Um,
I could have sworn they voted on it Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's like people are going back to work this week.
uh, yeah, they're still striking with SAG though.
Yeah,
Not striking, they're
just
still picketing with SAG.
because the WGA has a deal. SAG does not have a deal yet.
Mm-hmm.
They're still working on that, and they're still hammering that out. So we're still not allowed to talk about new content. So unless a really cool thing happens next week, don't expect us to be talking about Loki.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, I would also caution people in general. Just remember, because this deal was reached, doesn't mean we aren't still going to see effects from the strike.
Oh,
In
it has been.
another few
Yeah.
months or so, there's going to be like a 6 month gap of just nothing coming out or the most slapped together low rent crap coming out.
Because you got to remember, this strike lasted longer than the 2008 one, and we saw ramifications of the 2008 one for years after that.
Yeah, the 2008 one is the reason we had a reality TV boom in the 2010s.
So realistically, what we're probably seeing more is foreign imports. I could see that
That,
being a
or
thing.
I could see, hey, let's get this YouTuber to make their videos for TV channels happening more.
Maybe. Um. Yeah. So far, all I'm seeing is tentative agreement. So let's go on the official WGA website. Um. Yeah, still so far a tentative agreement. All I'm seeing. So basically
Hmm.
they're all voting on it now. I think they're trying to give everybody a time to read through the entirety of the deal
Okay.
before a vote. But basically, it's a tentative agreement, meaning that they are agreeing to it right now, and everybody can start working again. And then there's a vote to ratify it to go like, all right, cool, this is working. Let's do it.
Yeah. And there have also been reports of like several studios saying like, "Oh, big projects, we need that writer back now."
Yeah. But from every writer I've seen on social media, they're all happy with the deal. Adam
Yeah.
Conover was happy. I thought I saw Neil Gaiman happy with the deal. So I wouldn't doubt it gets voted on.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and I hope that means that the actors get a deal pretty soon as well. Like, I'm not expecting one tomorrow. It would be nice, but I'm not expecting it. But hopefully, in the next couple weeks. I know video game people are talking about striking, so I hope they get a deal real quick.
Actually, it's
And
still SAG voting to strike against game studios.
oh, okay.
It's voice
Um,
actors.
but yeah, I hope they get good deals with the video game studios, and I also think aren't like effects people talking about striking.
Yes.
Yeah, so they should strike. They should get a deal, and fucking
Uh,
the other workers too.
auto workers should get a deal. I love how the fucking Teamsters were talking about, hey, UPS, we're thinking about striking, and they just went like, "What do you want? We'll just give you everything you want."
They were like, "It's almost Christmas time. We don't have time for this."
Just here. This was like a month or two ago.
Yeah,
That happened.
but it's still wonderful to think about, isn't it?
Oh yeah. But hey, SAG-AFTRA says we have no confirmed AMPTP meeting dates scheduled, and there will not be meetings with AMPTP this week.
Yeah, that was the newest update I could find while I was getting news today.
And
This
for
is from a
people
few days ago.
who need a reminder, AMPTP is basically the organization that kind of negotiates on behalf of multiple studios at once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Disney, Netflix, formerly Fox, but they're part of Disney now. WB.
All the big boys in a room.
Yeah. So yeah, no official things on SAG yet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Remember, like the writers' deal, there was no deal for the writers on Monday, and there was one on Friday, so it could happen quick.
Yeah.
The WGA has suspended picketing pending ratification. Encouraging members who can join the SAG picket. Basically, the writers, hey, go support your actors, which is all good and dandy.
Yeah. If you have a writing job you need to get back to, by all means. But if you got nothing better to do, go pick it with the actors now.
Mm-hmm. And finally, Disney Plus password sharing crackdown begins November 1st.
Yeah. So basically, they're going to start rolling this out in Canada, and if it's effective there, it will go worldwide. And it's going to be very similar to how Netflix's password sharing crackdown works. In you can only have so many registered devices at a time, and they all have to be linked to the same IP address, which is fucking dog shit. It's gonna mess with a lot of people's ability to watch this content legally, and it's gonna mean Disney will probably lose a bit of money. Although I've heard Netflix's numbers did go up in the wake of the crackdown, so I don't know, but I think most people who watch the Disney Plus content as opposed to the Netflix content, because Netflix has a lot of casual normie subscribers, but Disney Plus is very much like families and people who are hardcore into Marvel and Star Wars. And I think the people who are hardcore into Marvel and Star Wars aren't going to say, oh, I can't use my friend's account to watch The Mandalorian anymore. I guess I'll get my own. I think they're going to say, I guess I'll see if the Pirate Bay still exists.
Yeah, don't use the Pirate Bay, folks.
Yeah, there's better sites out there, and we can help you out with that if you want to private message us somewhere.
Trust us, it's wheat.
Yeah. If you just want to make like a cat and say "nya," or you maybe want to join the 137th Squadron of Clone Troopers,
you do
that might help you out.
You do realize that's the joke I made. Wheat. It's least wheat.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the name of the site. I didn't know that was what that was a reference to. But
Yeah.
also, like, you want to watch your Japanese shows, just make like a cat and say "nya."
But yeah, Disney Plus being bullshit. Bleh.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty. It might cause problems for us for like a day or two, but in the long run, not.
I mean, if it's only in Canada right now.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Because, like, I know you're using the Codesters Disney Plus, right?
Yep.
Mhm. Well, anyway, here's our one piece of comic news for the week.
Dick Tracy comics are coming from former Archie exec Alex Segura. Is this the guy who kind of rebooted Archie?
Yeah, this is one of the guys who spearheaded that idea. The reboot was actually written by Mark Waid, but yeah, this is a new Dick Tracy series that's going to be coming from an independent publisher called
Mad Cave?
Cave. Yeah, Mad Cave. I've heard of them before. I hear they put out some decent stuff, but they're also like not in that upper echelon of every comic shop carries them yet. Um, However, this does seem to be like a very earnest, modern take on Dick Tracy. It's not set in modern times, but it's a more modern, more serious storytelling
Yeah.
approach to the classic Dick Tracy character. And for the most part, it seems like everybody involved with it is actually a big Dick Tracy fan. They're really excited about it and could be good, I guess.
Yeah. I know Mad Cave, there's a book I started reading from them. That one
Mm.
post apocalyptic thing.
Yeah, yeah, I remember you talking about
Yeah.
that. And like it's weird. I've never like seen the Dick Tracy 90 or 80s movie, and I've never read any of the older Dick Tracy serials, but Dick Tracy is kind of an iconic comic character if you want to get into like the old gods territory. So I am somewhat interested in a new revival. If this ends up on the comic reading website that you and I use, I might give it a shot.
Yeah. Next up, Hasbro HasLab Marvel Legends Series Giant Man prototype images. Look at
Yeah,
this
this
gray.
Yeah, Dwight was just being a silly boy posting some poses to his Instagram, and I thought these images were kind of fun, so I'd share them. It's also just like neat to see it as purely a sculpture without the color added to it.
Yeah. It does kind of have like a Greek sculpture idea vibe, you know?
hmm and with 22 days left to go, the campaign is currently sitting at 5,479 backers of the 10,000 needed to fund. So it's slowly but surely moving along. We probably won't see a big burst for another 10 days or so, though, I'm imagining.
Batman Red, Batman Blue.
Yep, they did the thing. Batman Santa. It's Todd is just going all in on the Batman figures, and you know what? This is one where I can't exactly begrudge him at all because this is just a fun, goofy toy idea, and I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah.
It's
You
not
know,
based on anything. That's not an actual comic it comes with. That's an art print that they commissioned, but it's still a solid looking figure and like Santa Batman, if you're gonna make wild variants, that's a fun one to have.
yeah. Put Superman in a Hanukkah sweater.
Yeah.
Mezco's making a mask toy.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be
Comic
specific, green face, if I remember
yeah,
right. Big green,
because it's
no. What is it? It's green face or is it big green face?
I don't know much about the Mask comics. I've only seen the Jim Carrey film, like most of the world. But I think it's really cool that they're doing these kind of off the wall independent comic characters, and I'm always interested to see what the figure actually looks like and what they come with. If you click that link on the tweet, it'll take you to the pre-order page where I think they have more detailed
Yeah.
images up.
Uh, trying to get to the comic. Darn you, movies. Yeah, the mask. Look at this man.
Yeah, look at this goofy boy.
There we go. Uh, I'm trying to get to uh big head. That's what they call him, big head.
Ah.
Big head, green guy, green head, green face. Okay, so they're both of them are in there, but usually big head. So big head. We got to figure a big head because I think this is definitely looks like the when it possesses Stanley Ipkiss.
Yeah, it's the initial one. It's the one most people would know if they know anything about Comic Mask, because The Mask is one of those comic book movies where most people don't actually know it's a comic book movie.
Yeah, and a lot of here's the thing. In the comic, it does not end like the movie. Stanley Ipkiss'
Mhm.
story does not. Yo.
No. Uh, but yeah, it's a really solid looking figure. It's right up their alley too, because it's just a dude in a suit with some wacky head sculpts and guns.
Oh yeah. Some fun guns.
Yeah, the big '90s multi gun is a wonderful accessory. I'd love to get that and give it to like a cable figure or something.
Oh yeah, just the multiple revolvers too.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, the mask. Look at get a big head.
If you've ever wanted a really good figure of Comic Mask, this is probably going to be your only shot at that. So go put in a pre-order or get on the wait list because I know Mezco can be kind of weird about stuff.
Yeah. Good old mask. Amazing Yamaguchi Supergirl.
This is it. This is the best thing that happened all week. All right, everybody. I don't care what else you want to talk about. This literally fucking Supergirl just did what she always does, and she pulled my ass out of a depressive slump this week because she's getting a new fucking high quality import figure that's based on her best costume design, and it actually looks really good even by that line standard. Because this is a Kyoto Rebel Tech Amazing Yamaguchi Rebirth era Supergirl, and it looks really really good. I like all the choices here to go with the less muscular proportions, to have a wired cloth cape, to have articulated hair so her head can better articulate, and the only real qualm I have with it so far, because this is the only image we have of this, we only have this one teaser image. The full solicitations are probably coming later this month. Skirt's a little short, and I know that's probably for articulation, but in the comics she has a longer skirt with this costume, so it's messing with my OCD a little bit. But this is also probably going to be the most posable Supergirl figure ever that is also a design I like. So you can bet your bottom dollar I'll be pre-ordering this. I am so excited about this. I haven't been this excited about a toy reveal since Legacy Armada Prime leaked, which coincidentally is on its way to me from Hasbro Pulse right now.
You can also see a little bit of a butt cheek.
Little bit. But what can I say? That's Japan for you.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you were just immediately like, yeah, no, I want that one.
Yeah.
We got a new kids line for Avengers toys.
Yep, this is I think it's called the Avengers Mighty Justice or something like that. It's a generic Marvel Kids line. But it looks fairly solid, fairly fun. There's some cool armor and like missile launching gimmicks. I think the packaging looks really fun and the sculpts look pretty solid. The only qualm I could have with it is just the articulation's a bit basic, but hey, it's a kids line. It's got to have a low parts count. It's got to be affordable.
Epic
So
Heroes.
not the worst thing in the world. Yes, Avengers Epic Heroes. And hey, look at that. It's all carded bubble figures, except for I think Black Panther's four by four comes in a sealed box.
You know what this is reminding me of?
What's that?
Rescue Heroes.
A little bit, yeah, because they've all got like big backpack gimmicks, or at least some of them do.
Yeah. But yeah, just cool accessories, and they do things. That's the thing. It's 4 inches or 10 centimeter toys.
It's the same as the X-Men cartoon revival figures that are in Target right now.
But yeah, no, it's cool. It doesn't seem like it's going with anything other than just like, hey, Avengers. That's fine.
Yeah, you like Avengers.
We're
And you
getting
like Jack Kirby.
we're getting a NECA Jack Kirby figure.
Yeah, because Jack Kirby had a brief cameo in the Mirage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics, and people have been asking for a Marvel Legends Jack Kirby ever since they made Stan Lee, and they were like, and the Legends team is always just like, we know, but that's tricky because that's a real person who also had a very delicate
Tenuous.
relationship with Marvel, whereas Stan Lee literally signed his likeness away to the company. So that was
Yeah.
easy for us to do. That's so hard for us to do. We don't even want to try. Whereas NECA's just like, nah, he was in the comic.
What
We're just gonna make that comic figure.
we're just making a figure of this random dude who showed up in the comic. We're calling him Jack Kirby. I mean, Jack is a name and Kirby's a name. We can call him Jack Kirby.
Yeah. It is almost entirely reuse of their Baxter Stockman, just new head and new accessories, but like it friggin' works.
It
It looks
works.
like Jack from that era, and I'm willing to bet a lot of people are gonna buy this and put it next to their Marvel Legends Stan Lee, even though that Stan Lee is based on like his cameos in the MCU.
Yeah. But either way, it's fun. It's neat.
Mhm. This is
Uh,
also getting into Toy Fair reveals because New York Toy Fair is happening right now, and there's not been a ton of news, but there's been a little bit. So we got that, and we got this.
Transformer Page Punchers. What the fuck does that even entail?
So evidently, Todd got the license because Hasbro tends to just give it out to whoever is willing to pay the fee to make non-transforming Transformer figures, and so he's doing a line of page punchers, and it's not just Transformers. He's also doing GI Joe, but all
Hmm.
he had to show at Toy Fair and. Photos weren't allowed, but he did show to people who came into the back area of the booth that they already have prototypes for basically the little 5-inch ones that have the minimal articulation and come with the comic. I think it says in the article, so let me just pop that up real
Optimus
quick.
Prime, Wheeljack, Megatron, Bumblebee.
Yeah, and they're both coming with IDW comics, which makes me cock an eyebrow because I'm like, y'all are still able to print those now that the deal's over?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, but it's probably just like this is what we can make right now. We need the Energon universe to get underway before we can move into that. But that's probably what Todd more so wants to do
And
because he's big on modern comic books.
it's not like we can just bundle a copy of Void Rivals.
Yeah. Uh, so that would be cool if we got a 2-pack of the main characters from
That
Void
would be
Rivals.
fun.
But yeah, cool little development. It'll be interesting to see what these actually look like when they start coming out, and if these are page punchers that are actually appealing to me at all.
Yeah. From Paternia, Diamond Select, Archangel.
Yep, Diamond Select had a bunch of stuff at their booth that we have and haven't seen before. Mainly their Marvel Select Archangel, which is looking solid. It's probably the best figure we've gotten of this design in quite a while. But also, it's Diamond Select, so their strategy is just throw it in the booth. It doesn't look too dynamic in this shot.
No, the mini mates look more dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though that Skullhead does kind of remind me of the last issue of Dark X-Men.
A little bit, a little bit.
That looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond Select, Captain America and Crimson Dynamo.
Yeah, so I believe this was the one brand new reveal from Diamond Select is this Captain America that has alternate parts so you can make it either a modern or a classic cap, which is a cool concept, but I don't love the sculpts. They look a little bit awkward to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't help that it doesn't look like they even stood him properly in the booth. The figure's just kind of leaning against the back.
Yeah. Also, I do appreciate the attempt to comic accuracy of the shadowed front of the mask. It looks goofy in 3D.
Yeah, I think that's the
Especially
main.
when nothing else is shaded like it would be in a comic.
Oh yeah. And that Crimson Dynamo still looks solid. We've seen it a bunch of times before, but it still looks like a really solid Crimson Dynamo figure.
Yeah.
Should be out soon.
Dear God. Dear God. Hold on. No, let me zoom into the photo, you dumb fucking website. Fuck you. Never
God damn
mind.
it, Elon.
The joke's gone. Joke's gone. Diamond Select, Invincible Way 4. Look. It's
Yeah,
invincible.
this line is still going because as long as the Amazon show is successful, they're going to keep making them. I didn't recognize the blue person, but I do at least slightly
Oh, he's
remember
the
Rex
twins.
Splode.
He's the twins.
You do remember I've only read the first trade of the comic, right?
They're in there.
Okay, I don't remember them. I do remember Rex Splode. I remember that name.
They're the twins where one of them is a clone, but they keep arguing on who is the clone.
That doesn't sound familiar, but it does sound like a funny concept.
Yeah. And they are also involved in Robots plot, so.
Oh. Well, yeah. Of course, these are more so based on the show than they are the comics. But hey, the show and the comics look pretty similar. So if you're into either, should probably be buying these. And I imagine
Yeah.
most people are.
Oh yeah, we got some more McFarlanes.
Yeah, we got some in-hand shots of what the packaging for the Batman and Robin Build a Mr. Freeze wave is going to look like, and I have to agree with Preternia. These are looking pretty darn good.
Oh yeah.
Like, I will never go full Star Wars prequel and say no, Batman and Robin is good actually, but like damn it, I watched that movie a lot as a kid and I kind of have a nostalgic attachment to these, and we all know my immense respect for Arnold Schwarzenegger. So there's a part of me that really wants to buy this whole wave.
I think the way you got to look at Batman and Robin is less like, oh, it's actually really good. It's so bad it's good. It's allowed to
Mhm.
be campy and schlocky and enjoy it on that level.
It's fun. It's a movie you get together with friends and have a few drinks while you're watching it.
Yeah. Which honestly is what at this point in time is what I think Schumacher was going for, was just big fun camp.
Yeah, I mean he used to start every take by saying, "Remember, everybody, this is a cartoon."
Yep. McFarlane's Multiverse, Batman Beyond, and Justice Lord Superman.
So I've not read this story, but I know it was generally well liked in the Batman Beyond continuation comics. I have no idea why they're advertising a classic red Terry suit on the back, but but the actual figure is green. Uh, but as slight remolds of the initial figures of these two characters, this doesn't look half bad.
No, it looks fine.
Yeah. So pick it up if you like that story.
What's this?
Toy Fair announced that there actually isn't going to be a Toy Fair next year because of the fact that, remember, it used to be a spring event. It happened in February and March kind of times, and happening in the fall so close to SDCC and NYCC kind of screwed them over, because remember, the whole purpose of this event is it's E3 for toys. It's supposed to be a way for the retailers to see what's coming in the next 6 months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really meant to be a fan event, but because people still really wanted there to be one when it got canceled all throughout the pandemic, they were like, all right, we're coming back as soon as we can. We're gonna do it fall of this year, and kind of screwed them because toy companies couldn't show a lot of new stuff this year. I mean, we got a few little snippets there, but nothing like earth shattering, nothing new from Marvel Legends, because they just had PulseCon. So next year they are going to take a year off, and then they are going to come back in March of 2025. And that will be the last New York Toy Fair. That is going to be in the Javits Center, as it has been every year for, like, I want to say the last 100 years or so, because New York Toy Fair started in the early 1900s. And they are going to move in 2026 to New Orleans at the Ernest M. Morial Convention Center. I think is how you pronounce that. It's going to be in January of 2026, and they plan, if that goes well, they are going to continue using that location in January of 27 and 28.
All right.
So kind of a major shakeup, potential end of an era thing here, but that's well beyond the purview of this show this week. But that's all the news, folks.
Yeah. You want to talk about some comics?
I would be delighted to.
First things first, we both read The Flash.
Oh, okay, you did check this out.
Oh, I realized I was Slice Spurrier. So
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm going to say I think this is a good size Spurrier comic. I don't think it's a good Flash comic
oh
because it
yeah.
doesn't have the tone that I expect from the Flash. It's very moody, and a lot of the characterization seems really off from the previous run. It
Yeah.
seems like there's been some kind of a shift or an event off panel to make things this way, and we're just not seeing it. And it might be that, like, oh, that's going to be a reveal down the line, but at the moment I'm not having fun, fam. I don't like there being like out weird awkward tension in Wally's marriage.
Well, I mean,
That
they directly say what that tension is. She feels like she's out of the loop now.
true, but in the previous couple of issues where she came out of the loop, she wasn't having a hard time with that. So
Yeah, but maybe it's just dawning on her, you know?
it's possible. But also they hint at maybe she's having an affair with Pied Piper, and no thanks.
I didn't see that. I don't remember that.
The last panel in that scene after Wally and the kids leave. There's some I forget what the narration box says. It's something like, and then the pipes start playing, and you see the effect they always use for Pied Piper's music coming in the window, and she looks up kind of hopefully.
Oh.
Yeah, and if that's, I don't think that's what's happening. I think they're trying to bait and switch us there. But if that is what's happening, holy shit, would that be a major portrayal of all three of those characters? Because Pied Piper and Wally are best buds.
Yeah.
Um, and the weird like fucking Cthulhu beast that's lurking in the Speed Force. No, why do we have to make every fucking cosmic force in DC scary, actually? I don't like that.
I understand what they're going about it. It's just like we've trusted this thing for all this time and we haven't looked at it at all. What if is it really all that like pure as we thought? It's a valid question to ask as a creative.
It's an interesting idea, but I don't like that they immediately go, nah, there's a really uninspired looking Cthulhu beast lurking in the Speed Force, and now Wally's gonna fight it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like I said, just generally the kind of like more melancholy tone of this issue didn't really work for me. It feels almost like, and I don't know because I haven't read a lot of Spurrier myself, but it feels like somebody trying to do Tom King and not having as much to say as Tom King does.
I can understand that. I liked it enough. I'm gonna keep reading it.
I'll give it another issue or two, but I'm not exactly like enthusiastic about this run at the moment.
Yeah. What else? We both read the final issue of Ultimate Invasion.
I barely understood what was happening in this most of the time.
Okay. Howard Stark is tired of the Maker's bullshit, so he's like, "Fuck you," and unleashes Kang.
Yeah, fucking Iron Man Kang, and then they hint at Iron Lad at the end.
Yeah, it's because basically Tony Stark goes like, I can't measure up to my dad, so I can't be Iron Man yet, but I'll be Iron Lad. And here's the thing, Iron Lad turns into Kang.
Yeah, that's the thing in the main universe.
But like, they're making Tony Stark Kang. That's a fun idea.
I can't believe it's not Ultimate Tony Stark is Kang now. All right.
And essentially, what happens is we are not getting the Ultimate Universe. We're getting a new Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
The one that was in the past, the one that Miles came from, and all that stuff. That's still there. That's doing its thing. This is a brand new universe.
That's all valid, but also we're doing this now.
And we're just calling this Ultimate. It's a brand new universe with a brand new set of rules, and that makes me all the more excited to see what the fuck they're gonna do with Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But it also shows it's probably a new Peter.
Which I was thinking about that the other day. The idea that it's probably a new Peter That makes that Hickman quote from a couple months ago make so much more sense. Because remember, he was saying like, "Oh yeah, I've got a project that we haven't announced yet, and it's really interesting because it's something I never wanted to do, but somebody gave me an idea to come at it from a completely different direction I'd never considered before."
Yeah.
And I'm like, What are you doing with Spider-Man, bud? What are you doing?" Also, is it just me, or did you also forget that the fucking Ultimate Giant Man costume is atrocious?
Oh yeah. I can understand what they're doing with it, but it's not great.
Oh yeah, it looks so dated.
Uh but like there's a lot of questions of like, okay, we're already in an established Marvel universe technically.
Mhm.
Mutants are around, magic's a thing. The Hulk is a Tibetan monk. Okay, and now we're going, all right, this is the start of a new Marvel universe. What the fuck, Hickman?
Yeah, it's very Hickman. It gets real heady at points, and it's kind of hard to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's not like entirely incomprehensible. I kind of got what was going on. It just lost me a few times.
Also, Reed is the Doom of this universe.
Hmm.
With a blue Doom costume. It's just Doom, but
He's
blue.
blue.
Blue. I good on you, Hickman. Good on you, Cates.
I think I like it, but also I don't know if I want to keep going.
I'll keep going.
Yeah, of course you
I'm on
will.
the Hickman wild ride.
Yeah, you're also the fucking Marvel cosmology expert who can handle this heady shit.
We both read Void Rivals.
I really liked half of this issue.
What half?
I liked the half that was actually dealing with the characters who are the stars of the show.
Yeah.
When they just cut away to Cybertron, and the Skunk Sword is just like, "Hey, you want to buy this Quintesson?" And Shockwave's just like, "Fuck off, fuck all the way off. I do not have money. We are a dead planet. Go away." I'm like, "Why is this here? Why is this happening? We didn't need to follow up on this. What?"
That's 2 pages, and it's hilarious.
It is hilarious, but it's also just like I'm laughing because this doesn't need to be here.
Uh, I love how you started with this series, and you were like, I don't give a fuck about these guys. They're just weirdos in the backdrop of the Transformers.
Hmm.
And now we're like, no, I give a shit about these people.
Yeah, I want to see where the story goes, and it's almost annoying that the Transformers cameos are happening now. Especially because it's like they're not even in that scene. It's a straight up cutaway to just meanwhile on Cybertron. And I'm like, this is the first appearance of Cybertron in this universe. What are we doing?
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But you know what I think I've kind of like wrapped my head of what this is meant to be? This is the G.I. Joe Space Division. Like,
I could see it being
I'm not saying
eventually.
it's not Joe, but it's like we want human characters dealing with military stuff to deal with the in space Transformers, in contrast to like Optimus and that crew dealing with GI Joe on Earth.
Yeah. That being said, though, it would be fun if the Void Rivals eventually became the leaders of what is it, the GI Joe Star Brigade from
Yeah,
the '90s. Um, but yeah, no, I really liked all the like back and forth between them this issue about like, all right, how are we gonna handle it? All right, I got it. Oh no, fuck you, I'm double crossing you. Oh no, fuck, this doesn't work. Now we're both in a prison cell. This sucks. And the bit at the end with the dad just
conspiracy.
being like, fuck him.
Yeah, the whole big conspiracy. The leaders know. The leaders know all the secrets.
Yeah, which was pretty obvious from the moment you saw that reveal,
Mm-hmm.
but like it is juicy to see it actually acted out of like, nah, this war exists purely to keep the elite fat cats where they're at.
Yeah. Can't wait to see where it goes.
Hmm.
You read Donna Troy.
Yeah, Tales of the Teen Titans number, what is this,
3.
3 or 4? Yeah, 3 or 4. This is all right. Just a nice little story about Donna dealing with some shit and reinforcing the version of her backstory they want to go with right now, which is the version where she was rescued by Wonder Woman as a child when her family died in a fire, and brought and raised as a Themysciran on Paradise Island.
Hmm.
Um, and then she goes on a mission with as an adult. She goes on a mission with Vixen, and they stop some. I think they're human traffickers. I read this like 3 days ago, so I barely remember. Oh yeah, they take out like a Middle Eastern, or not Middle Eastern, European warlord guy, because that's such a common thing of like in DC, made up European countries that are just ruled by dictators, who are just pastiches of other dictators from history. I think this dictator has been in something before, but I couldn't quite place him. Um, and it ends with her coming back and having a nice little heart to heart with Nightwing, and then getting back to her apartment and finding out that some of her family is still alive. Her dad wrote her a letter, and we're gonna have to deal with that at some point, I guess. I don't know. Nothing in this comic, none of the endings of this comic have been followed up in Taylor's Teen Titans yet. So I'm interested
Yeah.
to see where it's all going.
Also, may I just mention, hello, Marv Wolfman,
Yeah,
because that was the complete self-insert of Marv Wolfman when he wrote that character and had him marry Donna.
yeah.
I read Jean Grey #2.
So I started reading the first issue,
Yeah.
and it was too over my head. I was like, nah, this is definitely a book Boingo needs to tell me about rather than I should be reading.
Well, the premise of the Jean Grey book right now is in Jean Grey's last dying moments, she runs mental simulations of what would happen if she changed something in her past.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one was, what if I didn't erase our memories of going to the future? And we had all that knowledge, and everything went to shit. And this one, she's like, what if I listened to Wolverine and agreed to let him pilot the shuttle instead of telling him no? What would happen? Well, first, what happened?
What shuttle?
The Phoenix shuttle.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. The Phoenix shuttle, where they're like coming back to Earth and like everything's falling apart. That's when she gets possessed by the Phoenix Force.
Yeah. I always forget that's a space thing because of the fucking movies messing with my memory.
Yeah. So basically, Wolverine pilots the shuttle, gets possessed by the Phoenix Force, and everyone goes like, "Oh no!" He flies off. Because when he does, Jean Grey just gets blasted with all of Logan's memories and going like, "Oh, he was experimented on. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh, you got a fucked life, my dude." So Professor Xavier's like, "Hey, let's not worry about that right now." Jean and Scott go like, no, fuck it. There's a weird reason we feel like we have to go save this man. They don't say it like that, but like it feels like that's an intent on my of the book as well. Where basically Jean and Scott go and chase after Wolverine. They find him in a Weapon X facility, and he's killed everybody. Because like he's running on pure emotion of just the pain that they inflicted on him. And like they show up and Wolverine goes like, "Jean, this is pure emotion. I can't control myself long. Kill me." And he's like, "What? No. Just kill me." And Cyclops is like, "You got it, bud." And the Phoenix runs into Cyclops. And Cyclops just basically says the same thing. "Jean, this is pure emotion. I can barely control myself right now. You need to kill me." And Jean's just like overwhelmed the whole time. And Wolverine just goes like, "All right, killing Cyclops." And everything's just going to shit. And Jean goes like, "Okay, that's not the solution. All right. Fuck. Okay, so that didn't work. What other point of divergence can I deal with?" And she looks at Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. So that's what they're dealing with next issue.
Nice. It's just a fucking what if book.
It's what if, but it's also what if by analyzing Jean Grey's character.
Yeah.
It's not just, what if the Punisher had two dicks? You know?
I want that now.
I was going to be really mad about my family, but I got two dicks.
Fucking Warren Ellis's grand return to Marvel, everybody.
Jean Grey, good though. If you
Yeah.
if you were into the character, you would be into this book, and if you can deal with the weird heady nonsense. I read Realms of X2.
How goes it?
Everyone's miserable. They're trying their best. The four people of the prophecy, so that's uh, Sand,
Dust.
Dust, Typhoid Mary, and the other two I can't remember. Marrow and Moonstar are all gonna go storm Saturnine's castle to get Cursed Child back. And Magic is going like, I can't help whatsoever. I can't summon my magic sword. I can't use my teleport powers. I am useless. So she basically puts on a hoodie, dons a cloak, is walking out of the fucking base of operations they have, and literally it goes, she hopes someone would stop her. No one does.
Oh.
So yeah, Magic's on her own. She's gonna deal with some shit. The four are storming the castle. Yeah, it's just kind of mutiny Magic shit.
All right. Well, I hope they have fun storming the castle.
Have fun storming the castle. You read Gotham War Red Hood.
Oh boy.
Oh, is it a good thing I skipped this?
Yeah, this barely has anything to do with the event. This just feels like somebody wanted to prove they could write a Red Hood comic, and they didn't. Because it is literally it opens before the Batman issue that kicks off the story. And Red Hood's just like kicking the shit out of some criminals, asking them where the Joker is. And Selina shows up and she's like, you're never going to find him that way. And besides, you don't want to actually kill the Joker. You just want to hurt him. And you know what would really hurt him? If you helped me out training people so they won't be his henchmen anymore. So why don't you come train these guys? And then he just spends the rest of the issue like putting them through a living hell. And it's not entertaining. It's really sadistic. It makes Jason look like an asshole. And like, granted, Jason is an asshole, but I thought we were trying to make people like him, and this doesn't make me like him at all. This makes him seem like one of the worst Batman villains I've seen in a while. He's just being ridiculously mean to these guys who are at least trying. And at the end of it, Selina's just like, yeah, this isn't working out. You should fucking leave. And he throws a hissy fit and leaves. And then he goes back to his apartment, and Stephanie Brown's there, and she's like, yo, fucking Scarecrow's mad at you. Look, he left a dead body and wrote shit on your walls. We should deal with that in another book.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, that was a waste of 20 minutes. Thanks.
Yeah. Also, dual crowbars, Jason. Come on.
And they don't even look like crowbars. They look like those weird grippy sword things that Storm Shadow had in Valor vs. Venom. You remember those?
Yeah. I mean, those are weapons in certain martial arts.
Yeah.
So overall, skip this book.
Yeah, this is not worth your time. Even if you're like a Jason Todd fan, even if you're one of those Tumblr girls who really likes Jason Todd for some reason, skip this.
You read Penguin #2.
Yeah, this is like the good version of that Red Hood book, because it is really sadistic and a little fucked up, but it's entertaining because it's just showing like how the Penguin is a threat in and of himself, even though he's come to this guy who is a character from Batman Killing Time, whose whole thing is he's a contract killer who dresses like a butler and acts extremely refined. And in that story, he was a huge fucking problem for everybody. But here we explain it's been like years since that story, and he's retired. All the money he made being a contract killer, he used to just set himself up with a nice estate and a small staff for the rest of his life. And Penguin comes to him and he's like, yo, I'm going to go and try and take over Gotham again. And I need some muscle. And you're the only person not in Gotham right now that I trust. So what do you say? And he's like, I'm fucking retired. I'm 90 years old. I'm not doing that shit. And Penguin just keeps asking more and more passive aggressively as he spends the weekend at this guy's manor. And eventually he just goes like, all right, you're so into having your manor and your little staff and everything. I'm gonna drug you, and while you're out, I'm just gonna kill your entire staff. You gonna help me now? I fucking guess. Jesus Christ, Oswald, why are you like this? And then they get in the car and leave. And there's a lot more to it to that. It is actually a really interesting read. Actually kind of scary. Good to get you into spooky season if you want to read something about like a serial killer. Um, but yeah, that's the long and the short of it. Some very solid art as well.
Nice. It's also needed King to just bring back a character that hasn't been used in a while.
Well, it's a character he invented, so.
Oh. All right.
Man, remember we were reviewing Killing, or I was reviewing Killing Time as it was coming out.
Blade, number 3.
Are there any motherfuckers trying to ice skate uphill?
No. Oh, there's one.
All right.
They're just trying to deal with the shit. It's just a lot of like, hey, here's minor exposition about this. What's the plan? What do we got to do? All that kind of stuff. And then just at the end of the book, they're in the middle of a fight scene. They're running. And then Doctor Strange just shows up and he just goes like, so Blade, you've caused an apocalypse. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. So Blade was the motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Damn.
But it's a good book. Blade good. Blade good. Also, this is a beautiful cover.
Yeah, it's nice.
We both read number 6 of 7, Unstoppable Doom Patrol.
This issue was real fun.
This issue was real fun. This also feels like the first issue that's not a piss take on X-Men.
Yeah. It's just earnestly doing an X-Men story now. Because, like, you gotta have your big bombastic finale of your miniseries, and it does a pretty solid job of that.
Yeah. It's just they're training, and they get invaded by the bad guys.
And they go, oh shit, we gotta fight now. We're gonna be doing a lot of fighting. Also, here's some dramatic reveals that are tied into old Doom Patrol lore that I'm sure probably went over most people's head.
Yeah.
I only knew who the fuck Dorothy was because I just started watching season 2 of the show, and she's in that.
I do like how they have to fight some of the bad guys. Like the quiz, because it has any power that you haven't thought up yet. So immediately Robot Man's just like, invincibility, flight, what are you doing? You gotta think of powers and then they don't have it. Oh, well, what power did they use to do? It's like, that's a fun little mental game.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's incredibly obvious that it's something Grant Morrison came up with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've been enjoying this book.
I read Avengers number 5.
What do they avenge this month, Boingo?
Well, it's the story against the city builders. It's continuing. Basically, all the people who are fighting the city builders are continuing to fight, and things are getting very dire for all of them. Meanwhile, Black Panther and Captain America are in the living city, and they're going like, all right, how can we stop this? Can we set off bombs? And the city starts talking to them and goes like, hey, hold on a second, I'm alive, I'm sentient. And they're like, oh, okay, what's up, sentient city? And so the city starts going on with like, yeah, no, these guys are fucking dickheads. See, I wasn't intended for this. I was basically enslaved by them, and I hate them. But they let me keep my sentience as a form of like torture, to give them their jollies. So I'm just gonna kill myself and strand them here. You'll be the last world to die, but we can be happy knowing they won't hurt anybody else.
Hmm.
right? And it's like, okay, cool, understandable motivation. But Black Panther and Cap just immediately go like, yeah, no. What? We're gonna tell you what every Avenger says. We don't give up. We do not surrender. When the world tells you to die, you stand up and you tell them no. And then you see every single Avenger that's been having trouble fighting their bad guy just stand up going, nope, gotta keep going. And that's the Avengers.
Nice.
You know? It's just the unmountable odds. All right, fuck you then.
Mhm. Also, I did fact check because I thought like, oh, what if I'm wrong? Quiz was created by Grant Morrison.
Ah.
She is from their Doom Patrol run. Quiz was an insane Asian woman with an extreme germophobia, and she was a member of the original Brotherhood of Dada.
Hmm. But Avengers good.
Yeah,
You read Power Girl.
this is fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just, like if you liked those backups, this is a solid continuation, but it doesn't do a lot to win new folks over because it is the same writer, and it's very much just like here's Power Girl doing secret agent superhero shit. And also here's some characters that you might know and associate with her from before. Here's a villain you haven't seen in a while. Here's a fun streaky cameo, and then Superman shows up to check in on her, and they have a fun little conversation that leads into what she's going to be doing for the rest of the series, and it's fine. It's just it also feels incredibly samey considering how much other super family shit like this there is right now.
Yeah. Uh was Superman good guy? Was Superman good boy?
Yeah, Superman's just playing the concerned big brother in
That's
this,
cool.
as he tends to in these appearances.
Or dad. Tends to be a
Yeah,
dad sometimes.
yeah, he tends to be a dad, especially with his literal children. But like, I always prefer whether it comes to Kara or Karen slash Paige. Um, you write him as more of a big brother who has a bit of an inferiority complex because his little sister knows more than him actually.
Mm. I read The Immortal Thor #2.
Hey, that's still going.
Yep. So Utgard Thor is able to like get him to the other side of the universe. So like Utgard Thor's not beaten. It's now a ticking time clock, and Thor just has to like figure out a way to beat him before he gets back.
Hmm.
Okay. So Thor's going like, okay, fuck, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? When Loki shows up and goes like, hey, Thor, what's up, my dude?
And doesn't
Uh,
Loki have a new look too?
not when they first appear.
Oh, okay.
Loki just kind of shows up and goes like, hey, Thor, what's up? And Thor just goes like, I do not have fucking time for this. And he's like, no, 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 Thor, this is important. Okay, Loki, I'm listening. Do you trust me? What? Do you trust me? Are we really doing this right now? Yes, I trust you. You're my fucking sibling. I care about you. Yeah, okay, we're cool. Yeah. Do you trust me as a sibling? Yes. Do you trust me as a fellow king? Yes. Do you trust me as an enemy? And Thor just goes like, ah, shit. Fuck. You're gonna fucking pull some shit. Yeah, I trust you. And Loki goes like, all right. And that's where they get the new look.
Okay, because I saw an article about that.
Yeah. It's a cool look. It's a good look.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of like, it's that kind of, I wouldn't say deal with the devil, but it's that mythical something needs to happen and you need to have that vote of confidence.
Mm.
And Thor's just going like, this is gonna be a pain in the fucking ass. Yeah,
As you do
and
when
Mortal
your
Thor's
chaotic
good.
sibling shows up.
And says vague things of, do you trust me as an enemy? It's like, god damn it, no, but yeah. I know exactly what you're gonna do if you are my enemy, so yeah, I trust you. But Immortal Thor, good. We both read Miss Marvel, the New Mutant.
This was really good. I enjoyed this issue a whole lot.
Yeah.
I like the whole little bit about her trying to stay awake and just winding up in more awkward situations with Bruno, um, and stumbling upon one of her old fanfics. I'm surprised that hasn't been done more with her character before.
I have a question because you've read more Miss Marvel than I have.
Yeah.
Is Bruno and Kamala always won't they? Like, has that been a continuous thing, or is it they had that as a thing and then they were like, no, we're friends, and this feels like they're trying to pick it back up again?
It was for a very long time, and then there's a definitive point in the Wilson run where they go, this can't work, and we are better as friends, so we need to just be friends, even though we both have feelings for each other. And I read this more as like them to defensively being like, no, we know how this looks, but we've been
Okay.
down this road before.
I'm just checking. I'm just checking.
Yeah. Also, I doubt it's intentional, but Kamala's fucking roommate looks like the lady who runs Casually Comics.
Mm.
Just something I noticed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really solid. I like the creative way she comes up with dealing with the weird drone mecha. Um, the Iron Man and Emma Frost cameo was fun.
Yeah.
But not entirely necessary. I felt.
Yeah, but Emma has been kind of like the mentor figure in this book.
Yeah, and I mean, like that's a common role for her with younger mutants too. Don't forget, like she was
A teacher.
wasn't she like introduced as Kitty Pryde's teacher or something like that?
No, she was introduced as the White Queen.
I could have sworn there was like some point early on where she was running an evil mutant school.
Yeah, she did,
and that
but that was
introduced one
as
of the
she was the
younger
White
lady
Queen.
characters. Okay.
That was as the White Queen.
Hmm.
If you remember Hellions, one of the Hellions was a member of that evil team, Empath.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
basically, yeah, Miss Marvel goes like, I something keeps happening in my dream, and it's from my fan fiction, so I just need to ask him a question. And Bruno's like, all right, cool, I'll fucking sci-fi up some gear for you.
And then she goes and meets a fucking Infinity Warp character.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun thing to see how they mess around with that next issue.
Yeah. But ultimately, it's fun. It's cool. Imagine putting a character in a creative environment of a lot of interesting creative people just running at like 12.
Yeah. Also, assuming her acting career isn't too crazy, let this lady write more Marvel comics. She seems fairly competent at it.
Yeah. We both read Action Comics 1057.
Feels like a bit of a hard left in this. Like, it still feels very Superman. It still feels in keeping with the ideas of Philip Kennedy Johnson's run, but it seems like there's a distinct tonal shift. Like, we're restarting here.
Well, I mean, it is a new arc, and Johnson's still writing.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. There was something about, like, we're taking a little bit more of a serious tact now. We're focusing more in on Clark here. Could change as we go on, but I just thought it was interesting that this is very squarely a Clark issue when this book is marketed so heavily on this is the Superman family book.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I think it's also like Clark is the central figure of this arc.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the twins were the central figure of the last arc.
Mm-hmm.
They were like the very big point of view character, and they were the ones that kind of like helped Metallo and Metallo.
Yeah. And as much as I'm griping about that, this is really solid writing for Clark. I love the opening scene.
The lunch scene is gorgeous, especially that last bit of like the guy going like, "Hey, you don't need to come around me. I'm on the straight and narrow. I'm good." And Superman goes like, Yeah, I know you're on there. I know you're straight. I know you're on the straight and narrow. I'm just
I just
one
wanted to
now,
have lunch with a friend.
and it's just like, oh yeah, no, that's Superman.
And then he fucking flies off, and I swear to God, the John Williams theme starts playing.
Jesus, yeah, that's great. It's good.
Uh,
They finished up the past John backup issue,
yeah. Um,
and we got a Connor backup.
yeah, which makes sense considering his series just wrapped up. Wasn't super into that one, but I do like how wholesomely they wrap up the John backup. And how you feeling about the leader of the hate group?
Just being this new character.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I like how it's someone who is fully believing in their bigotry.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
It's also just like interesting to see Superman going up against this little goth girl who's so confident. I know everything about the world,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie."
Yeah. I
Um,
love calling bullshit journalists Clark.
yeah. Um, I also I also wonder if she's maybe not actually the leader. She's some kind of figurehead they set up.
Maybe.
But I do like their interaction. I like how she's basically just a real opposite of everything Clark is. Like all the negative aspects of the modern generation facing this sort of relic of 1930s journalistic integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I kind of want to see where that goes. It could be a potentially like Lex Luthor esque dynamic of I can't actually fight you, but we are extremely ideologically opposed, and that makes you a problem.
Yeah. There's a part of me that kind of is like that doesn't feel like this feels like a Connor story that should have happened a while ago with the backup.
Yeah.
But also I can understand of like he's now growing to the point where he visibly looks like Clark and is not you can't just hand wave it. And so he's kind of getting a little like, oh, I am not my own person. And
Hmm.
like that's fair and understandable.
Also, I spent way too long during that scene going like, why are him and Miss Martian together? I don't remember them ever having chemistry in the. Oh yeah, that's right. Young Justice is a thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That cartoon.
And their chemistry was fine in the backup,
Yeah.
you know. But overall, good issue.
Yeah.
You read Conan.
Conan the Barbarian, and he just ski batting and ski booping all over the ancient world, kicking all kinds of ass in this one, because they go into a big gruesome cave where the remnants of his people are being kept, and they free them and they fight a bunch of zombies, and he eventually decides like, all right, I got to stop this thing at the source, so we're going to go take out the cult that's hiding deeper within this cave, but also there's a bunch of injured people. So late, I forget her name, the lady that he's been traveling with. He's like, "Hey, go with them and be safe, because I kind of have feelings for you now." And she's like, "Don't fucking have feelings for me. You're Conan. Go be a badass." And he's like, "Fair enough," and he does that.
Yeah. All right, Conan story. Art good,
Yeah,
writing good.
yeah,
All right. We both read The Invincible Iron Man number 10. It's another take on that one scene, kind of going into more detail.
yeah. But also, God, this cover looks awkward without the other half.
Yeah.
They did not think that through.
Yeah.
They just went, "Oh, that'll look good on social media."
Yeah. But hey, I really enjoy the narrative storyline so far.
Yeah, I like the opening scene with Rhodey getting attacked in prison, and Tony kind of panicking over it and getting pulled into other shit. Like it feels very very honest to him, and the the whole way him and Emma kind of handle the wedding, making it almost a shotgun affair, is very fun.
Yeah, but also it's like a way to like trick Fei Long into coming in, and
Hmm.
so they can read his mind, and so it's like it is very it is a very seat of his pants Iron Man idea of just like, don't put the ring on. Oh wait, we got caught with me putting your ring on. Marry me. And
I
Emma
also,
just, I and Emma just going like, fuck you.
yeah, I also love that when they're in the Mindscape, they're in their first appearance costumes. That's a fun
Yeah.
touch.
That's fun. And I also like how like Emma's just like getting used to the idea of working with Tony. She's like getting into his flow.
Yeah, she's like, "You're a scumbag, but you're a fun scumbag. I like you, Stark."
Yeah, like I can definitely feel like a moment where this plot line wraps up where they're just going like, all right, we're getting a divorce, but we're still hanging out on Saturdays.
Yeah, we're friends. We have never and will never fucked, but we are good
Oh,
friends.
they'll fuck once and they'll go like, damn, that was good. Never again.
Yeah.
Never again. What do you mean never again, Emma? You clench your jaw too much. I do? Yes, and it's annoying. Yeah. Your elbows are really bony. Don't say shit about my elbows, Tony. Like, it's that dynamic of like, yeah, no, that was a good fuck. But
And in 10 years, Rhodey is gonna be like, "What was that, by the way? What the fuck was that?" And Tony's just gonna be like, "She's got a great ass. Don't ask."
this is just dumb fun, and it's like it's a bit of lightheartedness in this very dire, dour point in the Marvel
Yeah.
books of
Yeah,
just
and
like
it's like that's not us being stupid people. The tone of the book encourages these kind of jokes.
because their dynamic is very like old school screwball comedy of like, oh, you whore, you fucking asshole, back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also, I love Emma learning why Fei Long hates mutants. And it's just like, oh, that's very sad.
Yeah. As it tends to be.
He has mutant parents, but didn't get into power. And it's just like, oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Overall, pretty cool.
Yeah.
We both read Green Arrow #4.
This issue was real fun.
I love Ollie just verbally taking down Parallax.
Yeah, he's like, "Yo, we've both been shitheads, but you've been a shithead the most, and this needs to stop."
But it's also like, you're not Hal. Fuck you. What are you
Yeah.
doing making me think you're Hal?
You're a fucking weird space bug. Get out of here.
Because like he never got a chance to do that back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so it's like fun to kind of have like have Ollie get a chance to like verbally take down the person who fucked over his friend.
Yeah. And like it's very well done. It's very intricately written. It's all there on the page, so there's not a lot to say about it other than like, yeah, it's cool, it's good to see. I was more so honestly into the getting to see more of the Dinah and Roy subplot, mainly because hey, we remember Cheshire exists, and we're dealing with that.
Yeah, and not Ollie.
Roy.
Roy just goes like, "Hey, our daughter's alive." What? Oh, okay. We're just gonna be a family again. Fuck all this. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, she doesn't say that, but I hope that's the implication.
Yeah, I also love the contrast between Ollie and Dinah in that whole scene where like Dinah's got like this very nice pseudo pantsuit look going on. She looks like she's dressed up for a nice business meeting, and Roy just looks like fucking Adam Sandler. And he's the one who's leading the mission. He's like, all right, we're gonna go into this bar. I know who to talk to. I'm gonna get us into the back room. My wife's gonna show up. We're gonna fucking deal with her, and she's gonna take us to the place we actually need to be. And Dinah's just like, good Christ. There's so many easier ways we could do this, but okay, it's your thing.
Yeah. Overall, it's good. Green Arrow gets left in a post-apocalypse with an older version of himself.
Yeah, an older version of himself who looks like he's supposed to be big and scary, but also he's wearing one of the hoodies for Dinah's old band. So I'm like, eh.
I think it's meant to be more of like, oh, you've been through shit. You're fucking.
Yeah, like it's not quite Dark Knight Returns Ollie, but it's like close to that.
I mean, I did double check that he had both arms.
Is that a giant crossbow or what's going on there?
Is that a giant crossbow, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah. Next issue should be fun.
Ollie, we're not gonna fuck ourselves. What? This is a golden opportunity. I can't get it up. I'm too old.
They don't have Viagra in the post-apocalyptic future, Ollie.
Oh.
Oh, this is the worst timeline.
Oh, God. Is that the last book?
You didn't put. Oh no, we did talk about Void Rivals. I'm sorry, I just forgot to close it. So yeah, that's the last book.
Hey, we talked about comics.
How about that?
Good podcast, short podcast though.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on this week. Not a whole lot to talk about. I'll admit it was a bit of a challenge getting through the books this week, just because I'm trying to redo my schedule, and so it's hard to keep up with everything right now. But it's a good week.
I mean, you kept up with my reading input.
Yeah,
because I usually read like a ton more books than you, but it was about even.
Yeah. Well, a lot of stuff that I was at least interested in came out this week. I don't know if I'm gonna continue with all these books. In fact, with school going on, it's been a real chore to keep up with everything the last couple of weeks. I'm still enjoying what I'm reading for the most part, but man, there's a part of me that wants to trim the fat, you know?
Yeah. But hey, you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Hey, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos. They're things that exist. You can find them at the Vacuuminator here on YouTube. You can also find me on the social medias. I have an Instagram where I post action figure photography sometimes. That's at the _Vacuuminator. I have a Blue Sky where I post all my stuff and random thoughts throughout the week. That's going to be thevacuuminator.bsky.social. And I have a Tumblr where I do Tumblr things, and that is thevacuuminator.tumblr.com.
Hell yeah. Hi, I'm Boingo. I do a variety of things. I'm on YouTube at Boingo Writer. I am on Twitch at Boingo Writer, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Boingo_Writer. I'm on Mastodon at Boingo_Writer at VT.social. And I'm on Blue Sky at BoingoWriter.bsky.social. And hey, this has been Modular Media's No Price Podcast, the comic book podcast we do. We also have Components, which is just a hangout sesh. We just sit around the Discord fire and just say like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? For like 60 minutes and call that a podcast.
Yeah.
Sometimes we interview guests. We also have Analytical Fanboys, a monthly media cast where one member picks a piece of media, the others engage with it, and then we talk about it. Check out this week's episode on Gridman Universe, SSSS Gridman and SSSS Dinah Zenon.
I still need to upload that. I did edit it. I just haven't uploaded it yet.
We also have other podcasts, including Twit, This Week in Tokusatsu, where Vac and Buster talk about the week of Tokusatsu, and Saturday Morning Panels, because you're getting tired of it, is a monthly podcast where they talk about a relevant issue, like go back in time 30 years, read that issue of Transformers and G.I. Joe, 40 years actually. That issue of G.I. Joe and Transformer, and talk about G.I. Joe and Transformer news in general. If you want to support any of these podcasts, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can see this podcast and many, many more. In the meantime, Vac, do you have anything else you would like to say?
Hey, this is as good a time as any to get into Twit if you haven't, because it's about to get wild. Kyoryuger's back. Aren't you excited, everybody?
Enough said.